Hey guys, so in this video I'm going to show you how to create your first AI chatbot in Slack which interacts with your Google Ads account. And there are 4 requirements for this automation. The first one is you will need a make.com account. The second one is you will need a N8N account. As third, you will need a Google Cloud account. And last but not least, you will need a Google Developers token. You will have to request this via your Google Ads environment. I would suggest you do this first and then come back to this video and fulfill the steps after. So we're going to start in make.com, and you might think, why start in make.com? Why not make everything in N8N? Well, that's a really good question. I was thinking the same, but it's required to start in make.com because N8N does not support a Slack message as a trigger, and Make does support this. So that's why you have to start in Make and set it up from there and shoot it to a webhook. So this is basically how it works. So first off, you're going to have to create the Slack trigger, and the Slack trigger it's a trigger that's being triggered whenever someone chats in this channel. So I call it Chatbot Ads. It's Dutch for chat ads, but you can just select whatever channel you would like to. You can set a limit for the maximum amount of messages each time being sent. So I just put 2 right there. And from here, the Slack message from here is really handy to create a router, and this router directs the automation in the correct way. So there are 2 filters happening after the router. So the first one is a filter for bot messages. So whenever the AI chatbot responds, it's basically a bot that is responding, and you do not want the automation to trigger on those responses from the bot. You get what I mean? So we are going to have to build a filter right here, which says if there's a bot ID, well then it should do absolutely nothing and go to sleep. If it doesn't contain a bot ID, it does not exist, then it goes straight to the HTTP request, the webhook, which does the following. So here you can paste the URL that N8N has given you. I will show you later on. You will put a method post because you're going to post to a webhook. These are the headers you're going to include. So there will be a message. The message is, well, it's the message from Slack, and you're going to include your channel ID. It's really necessary to use this channel value if you're going to work with multiple customers. So if there are multiple Slack channels or multiple Google Ads accounts, it's really necessary to include this channel value as well, because you're going to have to identify later on which channel a message was being posted to and which channel belongs to which Google Ads account for it. So for now, we're just going to hit save and then head over to N8N, because that's where the real magic. So this is where the real magic is going to happen. And it all starts with creating a webhook. And this webhook is basically the URL where the make.com automation is going to send its information to. So whenever something happens in Slack, so it's whenever a message is being sent in the chat with ads channel, it's being sent to this URL. So you have to paste this URL into the make.com HTTP module. Okay, so then we have this. First off, you're going to have a test URL. So it's not the production URL is not available right away. It's only available after you've done some tests with this workflow. So it all starts with a webhook. From there on, it's going to send the information coming in. So why a date check? So the date check is here to identify which date it is right now and which date the Google Ads API has to analyze. The date check is here to identify which date is being requested in the message being sent via Slack. And the AI agent is not smart enough yet to identify this by itself. So that's why we're going to implement a date check. And it's basically a prompt going to OpenAI, but you can also use DeepSeek, Claude, or whatsoever. But you're just going to paste in the prompt right here. So this is our prompt. extract the date range from this prompt and format it to match Google Ads query language requirement. On return, the formatted date range, no extra words, explanation, or symbols. Here are some formatting rules, and these are all the date ranges that are described in the Google Ads API documentation. So that's why I've pasted this in here. And this is a very important one, so you have to put a strict rule. Output only the date format, no explanations, labels, or extra text. So what regularly happens is that OpenAI adds like an introduction language, like here's the date for your request, or you're welcome, thanks for the wait, blah 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 blah. You do not want to include that, so that's why we're going to implement this strict rule for the date check. So when this has been finished, we can go to the next step, which is the account checker. So if you're going to work with multiple Google Ads accounts, multiple Slack channels, you're going to have to set up a Google Sheets right here, in which you can match the ID from the channel we have just posted to the webhook, and we can then match that channel ID with a Google Ads ID for later on. So as you can see, channel ID, I'm just going to go through this very quickly. I'm going to show you later on what to do with it. So the AI agent is basically the central point in your automation. So this AI agent is going to ask OpenAI for stuff. It's going to save some buffer memory, and it's going to ask Google Ads for the specific metrics you're asking, for instance, or it's basically the brain of your whole automation. So how does this look? So in an AI agent, you're going to set it's a bit like a prompt. So, hey, you're my Google Ads agent. You're going to answer questions that are coming via my Slack chat. They're based on building my agency ads account. So this is my dummy account. In here, you're going to paste the webhook information. Always stay polite. So you can also add some extra information right here, which matches your tone of voice, for instance. So I would like the Slack chatbot to be very polite, and he or she can use emojis as well. But maybe you don't like that style and you want the Slack bot to be impolite, let's say, or you don't want it to use any emoji at all. Just implement it right here. And if there are any other requirements for the AI agent when messaging your customers or yourself, well, just implement it right here. So I also implemented a option to answer for a report in the Slack AI agent, and I always wanted to report like this. So maybe that's something to do with my autism or something, but I really want the data to show in this order. So first impressions, clicks, conversions, budgets, cost conversion, and then get a text written analysis, talk in a positive way. It's okay. So this is basically it for the AI agent. And whenever you connect a tool, a chat model, or a memory to this AI agent, it automatically understands which tools it can utilize. So first off, we're going to have the OpenAI credentials set up in the Chat OpenAI module. Well, I think that's quite straightforward. The AI agent autonomously chats with ChatGPT in my instance in this workflow. And it also autonomously does a HTTP request to the Google Ads data. So as you can see, this is the HTTP request of my automation. So this is the descriptions just for myself. The method is post, and here's a URL. And this URL was given to me by the Google Ads API documentation. But what's really mandatory right here is that you fill in the your Google Ads customer ID right here. If you're using an MCC or so, do not fill this in right here. This is the account ID you're using, the Google Ads account ID you're using, not the MCC ID. So authentication, predefined credential type. You have to set up a Google Ads OAuth 2 API. You can do this via Google Cloud. And I'm going to show you right after this step how to do that. But first, let's just finish this whole part. So you're going to set some header parameters. First, you're going to put the developer token. So this token is only available when you have signed up for the Google Ads API developers environment. Next up, you're going to put a content type. Well, it's quite straightforward. Just put this in right here. Then you're going to put a login customer ID when you're using a MCC. So if you're not using an MCC account for your Google Ads, do not fill this in. But if you do, just fill in the MCC ID right in here. So basically what you're saying to the HTTP request is, when you're going to this URL, use this MCC account. And now here's the fun part. Now you're going to send a JSON, and this JSON request basically retrieves all the information you're going to want for your analysis or for your reports or for your customers' questions. So basically what this does, it retrieves the name, the status, impressions, clicks, cost, conversions, advertising channels from every campaign there is, filtered by date. And this is the date we have predefined before in the first OpenAI module in this N8N automation. So you're going to link it to this one. Yeah, so that's the HTTP request part. And then last but not least, you're going to set the Slack post message action right here. So first you're going to have to create Slack credentials. I think it was API, let me check. Yeah, api.slack.com, and you can create a new app right there. I think it's quite easy. If it's not, you can go to the docs of N8N, or you ask the AI agent or the AI chatbot right here. It just helped me out. So it was really easy to set it up, and Slack will then give you a token, which you can fill in right here after you click the pencil icon. So the user ID is being filled in right here. So this user ID is the user ID of the person that's going to respond to the message. So in this case, this is a bot I'm assigned, but you can also assign your own name or whatsoever. The message stack, the JSON output, well, it's the output of the AI agent. So quite straightforward, I think. For the Google API credentials, you're going to have to navigate to console.cloud.google.com, and in here you can request API credentials. So let's head over. Let me show you where to do this. So first off, you're going to have to create you're going to search for Google Ads API, hit enable. In my instance, it says manage. But from here, you can go to credentials and create new credentials right here. So just hit the OAuth client ID, hit web application. And in here, you're going to paste 4 URLs. So this is the first one. This is the second one. This is the third one. And this is the fourth one. Hit create. So now the OAuth client has been created, and you're going to have to save the client ID and the client secret. Of course, on my screen right now, you cannot see it because I blurred it, because I don't want anyone to do anything with my APIs. But for you, it will show in the correct way. In N8N, you're going to set the Google Ads OAuth API with the credentials we have just created. You're going to set the correct Google Ads account ID right here. Just a quick note, you're going to have to add the Google Ads account ID right in here. But if you're using multiple Google Ads accounts which you want to connect to this automation, you will have to set the Google Sheets output right here, because the Google Sheets module in this whole automation filters the Slack channel with the Google Ads account ID. So basically, if you just put the Google Sheets output right here, you're always safe, and it always selects the correct Google Ads account. So whenever that's done, just Click back to Canvas. And now it's time to really test the whole automation. So you're going to click on test workflow, and then you're going to head over to make.com. And in make.com, you're going to start the whole automation. Whenever you successfully tested your whole automation and it worked and Slack is responding to your messages, like in the screenshot I'm showing you right now, well, then it's time to change the webhook from test to production status. So just click production URL here and copy paste this into your make.com automation. And then you're all set. Then you're good to go. You've got your Slack chatbot ready. Do some tests with it, maybe even extend it. For instance, you can also add Gmail to the whole automation. For instance, whenever you want to create a report on demand, you can ask the AI agent to create a Gmail draft, for instance. Well, I hope this is helpful and hope that this is really going to speed up a lot of processes for you. Please let me know what you think about this automation and hope to see you soon.